Welcome, Mitch Argon here with Calneva Realty, Northern Nevada. I am going to take you through the current market conditions for August of 2024. We skipped last month. I apologize for the skip, but there was no video for July. I had a rotator cuff repair surgery and I was moving a little bit slow. So we got the market report done, but I wasn't able to do the video. So we'll pick up right here in August and get started here in just 1 minute. Let's jump right in. We'll start off with median price. As you can see, it's a little bit of a mixed bag. Reno at the top of your chart is leading the way with a new median price high. Before this, we had a median price of $635, and that was about 2 years ago. It's actually June of 2022. So it's up 12% from where we were a year ago, and a new median price high. I don't expect this to be a breakout and a continued climb on the median price in Reno. I think it's just probably a 1 month blip. I think we'll probably settle back down into a range that's probably a little bit below that, maybe 5% below that. As you can see, these other markets are showing single digit gains, Dayton up 10%, Carson Valley down, probably a 1 month blip as well. So that gives you a sense for what's happening with pricing in the current market. This chart gives you a view as we look at each month of what we've been seeing for the last 2 years going back. And I think the story here is pretty consistent, that the market, while there's fluctuations on a month-by-month basis, the market's been fairly stable for the last 2 years. You will see a little bit of a dip here in the third quarter, fourth quarter of 2022. That's coming off of the interest rate rise that we saw and have dealt with. Since that time, you can see we've been pretty stable. And actually, if you go back to 2 years ago, which is about when that first started to take effect, the interest rates, we're about stable with where we've been. So net prices have been pretty stable for about 2 years. Unfortunately, affordability has not been stable for 2 years. If we go back, this goes back about 4 years, but you can see that with this is based on a Reno median price. So we're at 669K here, which is a big jump up from where we have been for this 1 month. Even though rates have started to come down a bit, we still have a price monthly mortgage payment that's up to just over $3,500. Now, next month, I don't know where the median price is going to be, but I do know that the interest rate will be lower because we've seen the rates coming down into the for this particular loan, the rates would be in the low 6% range, maybe 6 1/3. And so I would expect this will probably get a little bit better as these rates come down. A little broader look, we talked about the pricing on that one slide already. In terms of homes sold, again, a mixed bag. You see some markets are up, some markets are down. In general, the markets are fairly active, but we are seeing inventory build slightly, which we'll talk about here in just a moment. And month supply of inventory, which is really what tells us if we're in a buyer market or a seller market, you can see here for August of 2024 is inching up. So a year ago it was 2.2. Now it's 2.9 for Reno. Sparks, now it's 2.5, was it 1.8, and so forth. I think what's significant is that most of these markets now are either in the threes or close to the threes, the holdout being Sparks at 2.5. And when we get closer to 4, we'll start moving into what's called a more balanced market. And we'll see if that does in fact happen, but it looks like we're trending more towards that direction at this point. So one trend that is pretty consistent, and you can see it here, is that inventories are rising. We're seeing new listings coming on the market a little faster with a little more robustness than we're seeing homes going under contract coming off the market. And so this chart would show that this is showing active inventory compared to a year ago, which was very low, August 2023. And you can see that these numbers, with the exception of Tahoe and Carson Valley, are markedly up. Even though as a percentage, even though some of these numbers are fairly small, like you look at Dayton, it's a small number, but the inventory is growing. And so that is probably the biggest factor leading towards that month supply of inventory inching up, is a rising inventory. What does this look like visually? And this is really important to look at, I think, because it compares to really 2 years, not just 1 year. But if you look at Reno as the easiest one to see in this chart, we're sitting over here at 715. A year ago, we're at 565. So visually, this is what it looks like. that much more inventory. Keep in mind though, 2 years ago, going back into 2022, the same metric had 915 homes on the market, way up here. So even though we're climbing from where we were a year ago, that's a reference point which was exceptionally low. And we're still on the lower side, even if you just look back 2 years, going back into 2022, which was still a pretty tight inventory market. So that's kind of the sub theme and the overall picture on this. We'll see how this plays out over time. There's some key market forces at play, working that. Month supply of inventory, looking back 2 years, just like we looked at the inventory a minute ago. You can see that the markets are rising, pushing up towards this three mark. We have seen this before. We saw this in late 2022. And we were quite a bit lower than that through most of 2020, late 2022 and all through 2023. So it looks like with a little bit of inventory build, we're seeing month supply of inventory picking up a bit. That wouldn't surprise me. We've been in a seller's market or a market with rapid appreciation or to modest appreciation really since 2012. So we're at 12 years now, just over 12 years into this cycle of prices rising. And so we're probably this is not just our market, but the markets in general are due for taking a bit of a breather on that cycle. That covers it for this month, short and sweet. I will be doing one again each month as we go forward. My shoulder is doing much better, and I'm actually able to work productively, even though I'm only working from a keyboard and a screen. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the comments here below. If you do want to see the full market report, that is also posted down below here in the YouTube video. There's a link, and that will take you through really a lot more detail by each market if you want to drill down and look at that. If you're actively in the process of buying or selling, you may find that information very useful. Thanks again. Appreciate your watching. We'll see you next month.